Martha came from off the farm, ran right up, jumped in my arms. I said, you're coming home with me today. Martha, you're the sweetest girl an angel sent down to this world. I love you more than words could ever say. Every day's a new beginning. Life is just a game you're winning. Every time you look, an open door. So run right out, chase the sunlight. Nothing left to do but do right. Martha, you're the one my heart beats for. Martha, my darling, your name I keep calling. Heartaches forgotten when you lie with me. Down in the holler, in mansion or squalor. Martha, where you are is where I'll be. Evening comes, lay your head down, give your weary legs to rest now. Moon is high, but darling, not for long. I will write a song about you, how I could not live without you. Martha, I will meet you at the dawn. Martha, my darling, your name I keep calling. Heartaches forgotten when you lie with me. Down in the holler, in mansion or squalor. Martha, where you are is where I'll be. Martha, my darling, your name I keep calling. Heartaches forgotten when you lie with me. Down in the holler, in mansion or squalor. Martha, where you are is where I'll be. Martha, where you are is where I'll be.
It does help if you unmute. Usually, that's like
And that's why we put you in charge.
the little button down there. Yes. What we were saying was, thank you for telling us there's no sound. By the way, what we were saying was this is a directional mic, and if you can't hear Jen, complain loudly during the show because Jen doesn't put her mouth close enough.
That's because it's right up against your mouth.
Put your mouth closer.
I'll just let you talk.
Okay, can everyone hear Jen? Okay. We are okay. I'm sorry. We have a lot to cover tonight. The core thing, obviously, is the Layla Santanello case. As I mentioned in the various places that I advertised this live, we are talking tonight about the. What are you sorry about?
No, I just laughed because somebody said, sorry, I'm distracting you.
It's okay. Distract me. There had this is a really weird situation, you guys, because there for a while there was this anonymous TikTok account that was like lambasting. Like, is that a word? Lambasting?
Yes.
I just use words I don't even
That
know,
is a
but
word.
right. They were going after Jennifer Santanello nonstop, accusing her of the two main things that's on repeat, that was on repeat of the accusations was that she wasn't searching for her daughter up to 16 months after the disappearance. That was one of the big ones. Well, I'm going to show you the claim, and then we're going to talk about. And I'm bringing in some of the search team as they show up. I see Jessica in the back room. Jessica, I'll bring you in
Welcome.
soon. I
Hi,
promise.
Jessica.
As they show up, I'll bring them in. But that was one of the claims, that she wasn't searching, right? She wasn't searching 16 months after the disappearance. We're going to talk about that. I'm going to show you some evidence that shows that she was searching. And also talk a little bit about the psychology of parents after a kid goes missing around searching. And then the second thing, which in my opinion is even bigger because it was an accusation I heard the first time at the beginning of the case, and we started covering the Layla Santanello case. It was that she was collecting GoFundMe funds, and not spending it on the search. And only recently, of course, once we got to know Jennifer and Opie, and we searched with her and her team
Many times.
we realized obviously she's searching. And number two, we kept hearing about the money they were spending, and some of the scam artists that were taking advantage of them. So recently, I actually asked them for this show. I said, "Hey, could you send us proof? If you don't mind, send receipts. You've told us you have the receipts. Could you send them?" And I got to tell you, like Jennifer she spent a whole night just sending me receipt after receipt after receipt. I'm going to show you all the receipts. I'm going to show you the dates. I'm going to show you the amounts, and they're insane. And we're going to debunk everything. We also are going to cover a little bit of the upcoming events. There's two important events that actually I'll cover right now. And hey, Jessica, could you, if you can hear me, could you text the rest of the team and tell them to please join?
If possible.
Whenever they can. I want to cover a couple of events. That's coming up this weekend is, let me share the event real quick. Kelly Cloyd, I was texting her the other day asking her, is media allowed? Are we allowed to film? You know, because you got to be sensitive.
But did you tell them what it is?
At these events. This is I'm sharing it right here. So
Okay.
this coming weekend, Saturday at 2:30 p.m., anybody in the Jonesboro, East Tennessee, Tri-Cities area, there's going to be a Stephen Cloyd celebration of life in Jonesboro, Tennessee.
Did it say exactly where?
You know, let me read it. This family of Stephen Cloyd announced the date of Stephen's celebration of life. This is for the community who came out in force for our family every step of the way for the last 7 months. We are, let's see, we are trying to get a better understanding of who may attend. The location is going to be 284 Charlie Carson Road, Jonesboro, Tennessee. Charlie Carson is where the house was. That's interesting. I don't know if it's near where the house was.
Was it a park?
Charlie Carson is near where the house was. So anyway, the address is 284 Charlie Carson Road, Jonesboro, 2:30 this Saturday. Please come if you can.
Yeah, they'd really appreciate it, and
Yep.
it'd be nice to see you guys.
Jen and I might be busy because we're going to try to capture as much as we can of it. Kelly graciously offered to let us even interview her if we have time, if we can. I think we probably will try to, for sure. Kelly's done so much.
It depends. Like, she's gonna have her hands full, so
Yes.
we'll see.
Yeah. Your mouth wasn't closed.
You know, it'd be helpful since you're allowed to put it like closer to me.
Yeah, that's true.
Whatever.
That's true. Okay, so that's that event. We also have, let's share. Of course, the one that we need a mass outpouring of Oh.
What?
Opie, I see you as William Ward.
What's that?
I see Opie as, let's just add folks. Hi, Jessica. Let's add William Ward. Opie, why do you come up as William Ward? I don't get that.
He's on mute right now.
No, he is
Oh.
muted, but and you got to unmute yourself.
Oh, there you go.
Huh?
I'm like,
I don't
who's
know.
I
I'm
think
like-
that's Nova. He said he's on Nova duty tonight.
Nova duty? Oh no! Oh, that's gonna be crazy.
Get out of the road. Yeah, it'll be a little while. She can't hear me. I got earbuds in, so.
Okay. Is your real name William Ward?
Yeah, yes, it is. William Opie Ward.
Oh.
What's your middle name?
Yeah, Opie's my middle name. Yeah.
Okay.
I know a lot of people that go by their middle name.
Yeah.
That's right.
Too.
Okay, big event this June 27th, candlelight memorial for Layla Santanello at Borden Park. The time is 8:30 p.m. on June 27th. That one, obviously, we want as many people to attend both.
Yes.
Jennifer put out a video today. She
Come on,
was
let's go.
not today. She put out a recent video, and she was on News Nation on an interview. She broke down after. She was emotional. If you look at her TikTok account, she posted a video, and she was like, she would really love to see as many people as possible at the Candlelight Memorial for Layla Santanello.
That would be great.
This year, it would be wonderful if we could have the biggest showing ever for Layla. It's been, what was it, 2023? Is that correct, Opie? I should know that. June 27th, 2023.
Yeah.
We're going on, I'm doing math in my head real quick. 2 years. 2 years.
That's real
It's
hard
really
math.
sad that I can't do the math that quick, and it's only 2 years. 2 years and no answers.
Yeah.
We need just an outpouring of support to show anyone who is responsible, anyone who has any information, anyone who knows anything, to know that the community is not stopping. That we care, we want answers, and there need to be answers. There needs to be resolution. There needs to be justice for Layla. So, and William Ward is frozen. I can't. His video is just.
Here.
He's babysitting, so he might be a little busy.
What's that, Jessica?
Sierra should pop up soon.
Okay, good.
Okay. Oh, we lost him. Hey, Sierra.
Hi.
Hello. Oh, how
Yeah,
are
thanks.
y'all?
Good. How are you?
you?
Good. My
Man.
eyes are watering.
Mine too. That's weird.
One of those nights, eyes are gonna start watering. Can you guys hear Moon barking?
No.
Oh.
Good. See, that's the great thing about a directional mic. It doesn't pick up the dog barking in the background. How are you guys? I want to talk a little bit about, oh, there's a like we don't go with you every single week. Obviously, we went recently. You, me, Sierra, Jessica, myself. We went on the Greenbelt recently to take a look at an area of water. But other than what I've seen with you guys, like, how are things going? How are searches going, or like areas to dive into? Is there more information coming up? Ideas for places to go, or is it slowing down?
It's really honestly slowing down. There's a couple of places that are like at the top of the list, but the list is slimming down because what people don't realize is, like, yes, we can search, but we can't search the world. We can't search the whole town. We can't, we got to have some kind of, like, idea of a certain type of location, which I do have to in mind that I would like to start searching, but I know right now where it's her 2-year mark and just everything going on. Like me and
Yeah.
Jessica try to go on a lot of searches to see if it's like potential, but
Yeah.
I know of one that we've got that it's actually been talked about maybe this weekend, actually starting to map out that location. So
Okay.
If it's at all close to Sunday, if it might be Sunday, let us know because
Yeah, we're free on Sunday.
definitely free on Sunday.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's good. I know you guys have some places that like can't be searched legally, so without permissions.
Yeah.
What was that, Jessica?
I was just saying we may check it out Saturday, like Sierra said, and just kind of see if
Okay.
that's where that we do need to go as a group and
Yeah.
Okay.
search a little deeper.
Yep. That'll work. I know it's frustrating. All the searches you guys have been on, and just like it's got to feel endless at this point.
Yeah.
But I have to say that both of you and Opie and everyone on the searches who's attended the searches, it doesn't matter. Like you guys don't find something, you don't like. I've noticed you don't give up. Like you keep on. Like, what's the next place? What's the next place?
Right.
Let's keep researching and just trying to figure out the next place to. It's been 2 years and you guys are nonstop. It's just amazing.
well, it kind of feels like we have to, like that hunger all day, every day, just knowing like if we aren't, then nobody is, and like I
Right.
can't stand that thought because it's unfortunate. You would think that like we could get the community together more and do more, but unfortunately, that's just not the case. And you know, it's a lot. It's a constant, like
It's always
thought
in the back of your
process.
mind.
Yeah, like it eats at
Yeah.
us a
And
lot.
I don't,
you know.
I don't mean to put you on the spot, Sierra, but I got to say one thing that made me realize just how much you're putting into this, especially you recently, is that you're spending weekends, you're spending sometimes during the week doing this for Jennifer. And then I learned, and I hope you don't mind me sharing this, like you're literally like putting a question out there for people like my son has a birthday. Do y'all have any work I can do? Like anything I can do. You've got your own life to live. You've got your own shit to deal with. And yet you still take weekends and or more than weekends out of your life to like dedicate time to helping Jennifer.
Yeah.
And I just feel like that needs to be called out. Like that's amazing of you, Sierra.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
You
I'll do
guys
it because
are
I
just,
love Layla. I do it because I love Jennifer and Opie.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
it's hard, especially like, yeah, I struggle. She knows I struggle, but
Yeah.
it kind of also makes me put like more into it because of that, because like I get the struggle. Some people don't get it because they don't understand that kind of struggles, you know.
Yeah. And you knew, I mean, you all knew Layla, but I mean you were close to her. And I think this probably feels pretty personal for you especially.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, it's
Okay.
little to a lot of people talking about it, especially like the true crime buffs, but it's harder when, it's like a person and it's not just,
Oh yeah.
a story on a podcast. You know what I mean? Like I
Oh,
appreciate that kind of stuff.
Definitely.
But
Yeah.
like
yes.
It makes a
people
difference.
don't realize the magnitude to people that are like personally knows those individuals,
Right.
It's eye opening. Like the when I took a trip to Georgia to talk to Nicole Parsons, I think her last name is Parsons, the mother of Ethan Boyd. And yeah, like you don't. It's the weirdest thing you got. Like you do read these stories. Jen watches true crime all the time.
Once in a while.
I hear it in the background, and it's like for most people, it's a story. It's like this tragic thing happened, and they talk about family members sometimes. Sometimes family members are accused or whatever. But man, when you talk to the mother or the father of someone who's missing, and then like Nicole, she'll text me every now and then. Just things she's heard in the case. Like, do you think this is important? Do you think I should contact the detective? It's like, this isn't something that just you play an episode and you stop
Right.
for these people. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It's their
Yeah.
daily life. They're constantly thinking
Yeah.
about it. That's why whenever I see Jennifer post another video, especially this month, it's like it tears me up because especially this month, and I'm sure Opie, you could speak to this better than anybody, but it's obvious she's constantly on a daily basis just thinking about this.
Oh yeah, it's always on her mind, and at all times, and it's hard to. I have to keep her balanced a lot and let her realize, hey, the boys are in the room, or
Yeah.
focus on them, but when it gets close like to her birthday times and times when it's like this, it eats up at her. But then she's still got to try to be here, body wise. A lot of times I'm sure her mind's not here with us, but
Yeah.
it's like the best way I can explain it, that I'm kind of, the only way I can really grasp it is it's like a bill that's about to get cut off and you're stressing about this bill. And it's like, oh, I got to get this before the lights get off, and then we're struggling, and no lights going to be going on, and it's like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? But at the same time, still have to work and worry about the kids and worry about what's going on, and then just eating in the back of your head, oh, the lights is about to get cut off. The lights is about to get cut off, so it's probably the same way. My kid's missing. Where am I going? You know what I mean? Where is she at? What's going on? Wherever ever going to find her, then
And
yeah,
you
it's
guys,
rough. It's
Opie,
rough on Jen.
you guys aren't. How do I put this? It's not like you're rolling in the dough. I mean, you got bills due and shit,
Nah, I'm
right?
struggling. Yeah, we're struggling like crazy. Did you just potty? You didn't potty? I'm sorry.
Right. That's
No,
what
no,
we
we're
like
not. No, we're
live.
not rolling in the dough. We're. Yeah, that was no. I thought I heard water flowing and stuff. It's okay if you had an accident. Did you have an accident? You did. Okay, come on. Let's go back home and change. It's okay, baby.
Hey, this is part of
No,
parenting. It's part of the
it
deal.
is. Come on, baby. Let's go back down here. It's okay. Can you push your bike? Put your shoes on. I apologize, y'all. Hold on one second.
All right, man.
Come on, put your shoes on. Let's walk back.
If you have to go off live for a little while to deal with a little mess, feel free.
We're down here at the end of the cul-de-sac. The house is way down there,
Oh, okay.
so. No, but yeah, it's a struggle, and that's why Jen, she's pretty transparent of what goes on. But then I tell her, "Why are you so transparent?" But I get it because we're struggling. I'm working as much as I can. We're getting behind on stuff, and when people start saying, "Oh, they're using the money for this," no, and I wish we was, but we're not.
So, Opie, let's clear something up because on a search, you told me yourself you wish that the reward money could be more.
Yeah, and nobody's
Right?
going to talk.
What's it at right now? What's the reward money at right now?
I believe 7,000.
And so, everyone watching, think about that. You've got a couple right here. You've got Opie working his ass off like crazy to support this family. They can hardly pay their bills. The light bills, sometimes utilities, whatever, get threatened to get shut off. And there's how much in the reward fund?
$7,000.
$7,000. They have not touched. You guys have not
Yeah,
touched
it's
that money.
actually no, yeah, actually two different people hold it from the accounts. We don't even have access to the money.
Yeah.
The original people have it, and then the other person that was in charge of the account has control of that other money too. So it's not. And then if we do need money for it, we got to ask for it, like the extra, extra that's kind of come in for vigils or something of that nature.
Yeah.
That's been sent in. Yeah. Uh, Yeah, that's the way it goes, and we haven't touched it, and that's the way it is there for the reward. Because if somebody ever did bring information, I couldn't just crap $5,000, $7,000 out and say here, That's what bothers me about people. I could understand if it was the 10-year Opie from 10 years ago when I was in active addiction and partying and stuff. Then yeah, I could understand people saying that about me, but to say that we're robbing and taking money from a trying to capitalize off something like this. It's just, it ain't who we are.
You can tell
It
because they're
probably would have been
taking.
something.
Yeah.
And that I think that's a lot of the reason why Jennifer wants to be transparent. You know what I mean? She
Yeah.
wants people to know the truth
Hmm.
and, and to see what you're going through. Unfortunately, it's not going to stop trolls. People, sorry,
No.
Jen. It's not going to stop the trolls, but at least Jennifer is trying to be transparent, and I know it's probably hard for you. As you're trying to live a life, raise kids. You don't really probably want to be in the public eye, but I think that's what she's probably trying to do is just to make sure people understand, look, we're normal people, we're struggling, we're doing our best, and we're missing our daughter and
Right.
trying to find her. And
Exactly.
yeah.
Well, I think the people that believe her are the ones that matter, really.
Yeah, that's all that matters. That's what we
Mhm.
constantly remind ourselves of all the things, to shed light onto the people that's saying evil, mean stuff. It's like hundreds to compared to, well, I don't even know if it's hundreds, honestly, but you
Yeah.
always want to have negative people. But then when you got 200 and some thousand or more people that look at the good in you, it's
Right.
irrelevant to pay attention to the negative part of it. But it still hurts and it's still upsetting, and it's just like people claiming they know me, but they just know of me, and it's just, I don't know. It's mainly local people, trying to, and that they would do, and it's normally people that they would probably do in the situation.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's right. That's
That's
probably
true.
true.
That's a good
Yeah.
way to look at it.
The I guess Real Rock and Robin asked a question. I don't know how much are there compensation programs or other public programs for people for families of missing or anything like that?
Actually, no. Me and Jen's actually talked about this kind of stuff today. So there's an organization. Jen's not completely over that. It's called Hope for Layla. Apparently, they're having like some kind of event on the 26th, which is my kiddo's birthday. But they're having an event. We don't really know of any kind of programs like that could like offer help towards Jen, not locally, anyways. But Jen's, we've talked about how it would be nice that if we could actually start up something like that and learn how to get into those kind of, organizations so that we can like help younger adults. The
Yeah.
Hope
Right.
for Layla programs, like for kids, for like that's dealing with missing kid or missing persons or dealing with conflicts at home and things like that. It's for like younger, minors. But other than that, there's not really many programs around here for stuff like that.
You would
If
think
that's what they're meaning.
there
Yeah,
should be. There should be.
to look into that. I think there are national programs we can look into.
You would think so for families of the missing, especially for those who aren't well off and need resources. Like,
Right.
there's people like we just met. We went on this. We have videos being published now over the next week or two of one woman from Jonesboro, Heather Hendrickson, who is this like amazing fundraiser, and you would think there would be people like that who would want to help the families of the missing who are in situations like this, who they don't have a whole lot of resources, and they could potentially get a lot of donations, I would think. She's from Greenville. I'm sorry. I always Jonesboro, Greenville.
Yeah,
Should
apparently there's an event on the 26th, and that program's Hope for Layla, so it was named after Layla. But there's going to be a lot of different vendors out there, like for Frontier Health, for like suicide help, battered, like all kinds of different little like vendors like that's going to be out there. And like I told Jen today, I was like, that's something we really should look into and like
Yeah.
try and do for, trying to raise up
should,
funds
yeah,
for
yeah.
things.
The sad thing is, it's not just searches. Like, yeah, searches cost money, and you have to try to bring in teams, and a lot of times that costs money. But I mean, these families are like struggling. A lot of them are not well off families who are missing family members, and then they also have to try to come up with funds for reward and for the searches. It's like we've got to do some research. Honestly, there's
It's
got to
like
be
juggling
ways.
way too many balls in the air.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
just alone, like flyers, but people don't realize like flyers, it kills me because I've seen so many people like walk around and rip off flyers that, hanging around the town and stuff like that. Just odds,
Really?
people, yeah, just in general, you'll usually see like, most of the time if you see something on a poster, like later you'll see it torn off. But what people don't realize is just flyers alone is like 120 or $100 for 120 pieces of paper. So that's
Yeah.
120 flyers, which does not go nowhere if you're actually
Yeah.
putting them out. If I
Sure.
hand 5, 6 people a stack of flyers, those are going to be gone within a day. That's $100 a pop just alone on that. So like it's
Yeah.
pretty crazy
Wow.
when you add up the bits and
I didn't
pieces
realize it was
together.
that much. Yeah.
The last time
Yeah, yeah, flyers do get expensive,
Mm.
And that's the
I know
thing.
that. I know
Families
that.
don't save. Families ain't prepared for this. Nobody sets. You got your rainy day
No.
funds, but nobody sets money away to say,
Well, no
"Let me
one,
put this away in
no
case
one
my
thinks.
kid goes missing."
Yeah.
No, that's not something you want to think about,
Yeah.
really.
And especially when you're talking about 2 years of trying to. I mean, and that's the thing. Like we can talk about that,
Let
but
me
at
push
the
the button.
beginning, Jennifer. No parent, I'll tell you a little bit of our background, a little bit of what happened before in our past, is our daughter decided to like take a walk into the woods behind our house in Shapley, Maine. Okay.
No, she was running away, she said.
Didn't want to go to school, high school, there were issues. Anyway, she took a walk into the woods, right? She was gone for like half a day and we freaked out. And
Yeah. Well, we didn't know because she didn't go to school, and the school didn't tell us.
so we experienced that like temporary terror a parent feels when your kid is just not home.
Right.
And for me, like I understand when Jennifer says, my first assumption in the first 6 months wasn't like I'm gonna go out in the woods and search for bones. Why the hell would you do that?
Right.
Right? Your first assumption is your daughter is alive. I need to find out who knows where she is. I'm going to take her flyer. I'm going to go to businesses. I'm going to talk to police. All the
Right.
things. Correct me if I'm wrong, Sierra and Jessica, but those are the things that Jennifer did in the first days, right?
Especially at her age, though.
Yeah, that's why I say it really aggravates me when like, because a lot of the stuff that gets said and brought up is from a close side to the situation that's not local. And most of the people that say that are the ones that just don't understand the situation. Like, of course, when this happened, with everything going on and with her behaviors, the first thought that anybody's going to have is, she's hiding out. She's running away. She had already made it known that she was hiding out from Michael, So
Right.
in anybody's mind, they're going to think, she just found a new friend and hiding out, because there was like rumors that there was a new guy she was talking to. So like
Right.
there was that for a little while. And then like she was being looked for at all times. Like, family was knocking on, friends' doors, places, going to the hotel and knocking on doors. There was people looking, but in different ways than how we look now. And they don't seem to realize that. Like, we were looking for a live
Yeah.
Layla. We wasn't looking for a deceased one,
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a certain point every parent's going to be like, how much time goes by before you start thinking that they're not with us anymore?
Well, I know that we called the police. The police started talking to neighbors.
We had the sheriff in our dining room when our daughter walked in the front door.
She fell in the door with sticks through her hair.
Sticks
and
in her hair. She had like walked out of the woods finally down the street. So it's like in those first hours, and I'm thinking to myself, what would I have done if it took days? If she didn't show up? What would I have done if it took months? I would never have assumed she was passed away, not with us anymore, for as long as I possibly could. And I'm going to look at the evidence. I'm going to look at the claim, and then I'm going to look at how long it took Jennifer. And actually, I'll tell you, you guys probably know more than I do. Like, I have the evidence from Opie of the first date that they have recorded. Here's the other thing. Jennifer wasn't on TikTok popular till she started with this case, which wasn't until a little bit after Jennifer disappeared, right?
You
'Cause
mean
she-
Layla?
Sorry,
Well,
Layla disappeared.
actually, from the big jump, Jen did not like cameras. She did not. She was camera shy. Like, she'd take a selfie or whatever, but that's different than doing videos. And at the very beginning, Layla's dad's girlfriend had offered to help do those kinds of things for her, and then that's how that happened. And then she had to step in and record. And then that's when she started recording more on searches. Cause I've got searches from a month after. I've got other people that's got searches within the first month of her missing, but it's us, taking pictures of the locations we're at and the spots and what we're seeing. We didn't think that we had to document every time we went searching to prove to others that's what we're doing. Like, that was never a thought of
thing in your mind.
Yep. Thank you, T and Twister, for doing that for Jennifer too. The $80. I know a lot of people. No,
I thought she said for summer.
For summer, sorry. Thank you for doing that for the missing. And that reminded me, I forgot to do this at the beginning. This is important because people who care about missing persons cases will contribute in different ways. We do have a group of people. I got to mention real quick. I'm sorry, you guys. This is like a channel thing. We have a group of people who sign up as members, and that's what they're doing when they sign up as members with us is they're basically dedicating, like, we're going to contribute a little bit to your efforts for searching for the missing, for promoting these cases, for bringing light to the missing. And we don't get a lot, but we're growing. And there's a certain number of people I've got to mention real quick. For almost a year now, we've had The Real Rock and Robin and Yvonne Sanders for 8 months. They've been contributing so Real Rock and Robin Tribal Warriors level, which is like, that's like, I don't even know if it's the highest. It's pretty close to it. Most are core tribe. So core tribe is like basic, and they get to see like videos before anybody else, that kind of thing. We try to do what we can for our members, but I just want to thank The Real Rock and Robin, Yvonne Sanders, for staying with us for that long and helping us with all the expenses on all of our searches. For 3 months, we have Jason Myers. We've got 2 months, John Odell, Margie T, 423 Pythons. And over the past month, we've had Janice, Jessica DeBrouwer, and Laura Jones. I just want to thank you guys because I know we don't ask for donations. We try not to ask people for money because it's just annoying when channels do that and they talk about money all the time. Yeah. But the people who are signing up and supporting, it helps us. Pay for gas, pay for repairs on the damn Jeep that breaks down all the time on us.
We gotta get a better car.
Yeah. And just like things like a weekend where we go with this team to a field, an abandoned property, and we just do what we can to fly the drone, search the property, and maybe someday even have a dog that will be able to do cadaver searches. Like every little bit helps. That helps us. But I will say, anybody who wants to contribute, thank you for supporting our channel. I will encourage anyone who wants to support the missing, especially if you live in this community, please donate directly to the family. Donate directly to the reward fund for Jennifer and Opie that they're trying to raise. Like Opie said, they only have $7,000, and he knows if it was higher, probably someone would talk. Probably someone would actually come forward. Yeah. $7,000. I mean, when you're talking about the drug community, how much is $7,000 going to buy? How much are they going to sell for? Like, that's nothing to people who are in the drug community. Now, if you raise that up, if you had $100,000 reward, do you think people would start telling on one another? Like maybe for, I would think. So I don't know. I think money talks sometimes in cases like this. And if it's high enough, people are going to squeal on each other. And I wish this case was more. Is there actually, do you guys know, is there I know there's a fund, a reward fund. I know Jennifer and Opie there was the whole family issue with the GoFundMe at the beginning. Right. problems with the GoFundMe. Is there a current GoFundMe in play?
or anyone to contribute to.
No, I mean, I don't honestly. I'd have to double check on that one. GoFundMe is like, honestly, I've heard that there's other ones that you should use that are better because, like, I guess GoFundMe's like take a percentage. I'm not sure about all that. I know a lot of times Jen has been taking donations like through her Cash App and her Venmo, but I feel like there is a GoFundMe somewhere still. I think that maybe she's gotten control over one finally, but I'd have to look at the details on it.
Okay.
I will say that so you guys, like, I will never promote anybody who I think is a scam artist, who's going to waste money, who's going to just be in things for money. But seeing firsthand what Jennifer and Opie are going through in their personal life, honestly, I wish that you guys had Cash Apps because I think people would probably want to help you too, just for supporting everything. But at least if you all do feel called to support Jennifer and Opie, visit her TikTok, check out her Cash App. If you feel called to help them with the bills or whatever, support their lives while they're dealing with
There's
this.
so many things you don't think of when you think of like supporting a family with a missing person. It's not just about like, donations for the reward and all that stuff. It's everyday things.
Yep. I remember when I interviewed Jennifer for the first time, one of the things she said to me is like, there's resources for missing people, like maybe to find search resources, maybe to get a cadaver dog in, but like there's nobody out there who's going to go to their house and be like, do you need me to cook for you guys? Do you need food? Do you need like help with cleaning the damn house because you have kids who are crawling all over you? You know what I mean? Like, there isn't anything like that. And I think any bit helps. So we got sidetracked.
Probably my fault as usual.
Sorry. Let's go after the lies. I want to talk about those things. Yeah, time to do some debunking here. Let me get so I've carefully edited the lives. I don't want to give any credit to the channel that's promoting these. But I'm going to share what they've been saying about Jennifer. And then I'm going to counter it with evidence. And we're going to talk about all that. So
evidence, what's that?
It's what most people don't look at.
Right.
All right. So the first comment, the first post, this is from the anonymous account on TikTok. And this comment basically is mirroring what the main post said. If you can read the text with the disgusting purple background. I don't know why they post like.
I can't see that. Can you see?
I don't know. So the comment basically, and 16 months after Layla's disappearance, she started to actually look for Layla. Felt and looks like her actions exactly what we've said. She has always cared and put herself before Layla. So the claim here is now 16 months. That's a hell of a stretch too. I'm surprised they didn't try to lie a little better and be like a year.
It's hardly been 16.
I know, we're like 2 years. So they're saying Jennifer didn't search. So the main thing right here, before I get to the evidence, is that we're gonna just ignore the first 6 months because, like I said earlier, as a parent of a missing person, I'm gonna say we need to be able to be like, okay, the first 6 months, any normal parent is going to assume their child is alive. So if someone isn't searching for bones for 6 months, there's no way in hell any reasonable person can blame them.
Right. Especially for an older child like Layla was.
That's true. The situation with Layla was even more so because, like you guys described, she was potentially having other relationships. Maybe she would have disappeared for a few days and Jennifer would have been like, all right, she's off doing whatever, just how she was. So even longer than 6 months, maybe. But so I did ask Jennifer and Opie I'm like, do you guys have any video evidence at all of the searches that happened? What's the earliest? And they were like, what the frustrating thing like that Sierra just described is in the first months, Jennifer wasn't about putting videos out at the beginning, and didn't think that when she was out there searching with people that she'd have to prove it to people
the
after.
first thing on her mind.
So there isn't a lot of like the earliest days, I would say in like early 2024, that first year right after. So you've got 6 months, which is the end of 2023. You get into 2024. That's where now you guys, I don't know if I asked you guys this. What was your first witnessing of Jennifer searching? Like, what's the furthest back you can think of? You may not have video evidence, but just like your witness account of the first searches.
I mean, honestly, it was really on it. I mean, she started looking, but like I said, we wasn't looking out in fields, but technically she was looking even at the very beginning, even in the first couple of like, the first, well, not the first month, but the second to third month, I'd say, because, but we were like walking and looking at friends or sure, you know what I mean? She was doing stuff like that.
Going to
And having
hotels,
people make calls. Like there was a lot of call making that was being made and the different searches like that.
Yeah.
Now at the beginning of 2024, that's when all the ground searches really started rolling out. Like
yeah.
But like I said, everybody was doing it on their own and nobody was thinking, oh well, let me make sure to get so and so in there to prove. That's not what's on somebody's mind when they're out there searching for somebody that's missing. Like, that's the last thing I'm thinking about,
Yep. Now, Opie, you sent me some video, and luckily there was a date. The earliest date, and this surprised me because the date on this one was September 17th, 2023. Now, I didn't think there would be anything until 2024. This is only a few months after. I don't remember. Did I ask you, could you describe this video that actually did have, you had some screenshots of Jennifer on it. Can you explain where this one came from?
I'm believing that's near the AmeriCorps area, them fields where the Greenbelt kind of walked off into, or behind that warehouse area.
Okay. That was the initial
we
search.
went there. Yeah, we went there, and then there was another place up there near the Meadowview area. We had searched up that area.
So everyone take a look. Everyone take a look at the screenshots. These screenshots from the video from 2023 that Opie sent me. And I believe that right there in the long flowy shirt, I'm assuming since it's a flowy shirt, it's probably Jennifer Santanello. Right? That's Jennifer, right?
Yeah. I wouldn't be filming nobody else but Jennifer. Yes, sir. It was me and Robbie and Jennifer there. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's that one. Again, this is 2023. You've got this one. I don't know if this is the same one because you sent me actually two. So there was this other one.
She's wearing the same thing.
Yeah, that's the same search. So there was another one in 2024. This is the following year.
The 2024 could have been, I guess, maybe that time with Andrew.
Andrew. Okay. The Andrew search.
Yeah, maybe. It depends on the date. And
it's Sunday, July 14th.
Yeah, 2024.
Oh, no, maybe not. Because that was on a Monday and a Wednesday or Monday.
Okay.
So even with the little bit of the recording that didn't happen, we at least have, as far back as 2023, the video with screenshots showing Jennifer Santanello out there in the middle of the woods. Only, less than a year after her own daughter went missing, and she's out there looking for God knows what. You know what I mean? Like
anything.
Here we go. Near the John B. Dennis Highway, I've walked under that bridge. I know where she is. That's the Greenbelt, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like it. It's a Greenbelt search.
Yes, sir.
So we have evidence at least going far as soon as late 2023 where she's like, I don't know if you'd say she's given up. I don't know what she was thinking at
No,
that
it
point.
really wasn't giving up. It's just being able to say, "Hey, she's not here."
Do you think that's the point in late 2023 where she was like, okay, she's entertaining the possibility that her daughter may not be here anymore, and she's willing to actually search out there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just based off the rumors, we was hearing, because I was hearing all kinds of different things on the street and before, and then it was the same stuff. The private investigators and other people have come back, and even I kind of knew Andrew might have been like scamming and not had a dog, but I know he was out there asking questions because he was actually coming back with some of the same stuff I've been hearing. Because when we would go out and do those hand the flyers out in the community, that's when people would stop and talk to me and tell me things. Oh, you'll never find her in pieces. You're gonna find, what I mean, all kinds of different things, and that's why one of the
Yeah.
reasons we went out there to look just to be able to mark it off and
Start crossing it off the list.
yeah. And then, that's why, like Sarah, I remember Jessica, somebody saying, it's better to have places to search. 'Cause it's just hard to just randomly just go pick an area out and say, let's search here, like I told Jen, I feel like it's a waste of time, but then it's not a waste of time because you're actually able to mark this off and say, no,
Yeah.
she's not here. But then at the end of the day, that's like, I
Well,
don't
what
know.
gets
Someone
me?
said there's $1 million out there in the woods. It's
Yeah.
like, where do you start looking? That's why when these psychics or anybody gives us anything to go on, it's, hey, let's go check it out. It's a possible.
Oh man, Opie, I saw a video you posted on TikTok and I almost started crying, dude.
You
It
were
was
so emotional.
no, you don't understand. Like I think it was a psychic prediction or someone sent Opie something, and it was like some abandoned warehouse out in Kingsport. This dude, I don't know if you were like on your lunch break from work or what, but you drove out there immediately and you were texting people like, I can't find it. Can you please tell me the location of this damn place? Like you are willing to try anything. You're willing
Yeah.
to try anything. It's insane. Even psychics.
Yeah, they
Even
was
psychics.
trying to say, well, I don't even know if this is a psychic but it was somebody that said they seen a box on the side of the road. And I was like, well,
Yeah.
and then I was getting messages, are you not going to go look? So I was like, okay, I'll go. It feels
It's
like a
probably
wild
psychic.
goose chase, but
I
I'll go
mean,
ahead and go look. And that's why I was like, I'm here. That way no one says I'm not there. And then it's like, come on. And then it's like, man, I'm driving around and looking, and I'm like, I can't. So I sat there for an hour waiting for them to text back. They never did. And
That's frustrating.
yeah, it was a little frustrating.
Yeah.
the
Like
problem with yeah, go ahead, Jessica.
done a search like that where we had seen something on Facebook about a freezer off the side of the road, and we drove
Mhm.
an hour
Uh,
to go and check it.
Yeah, that was an adventure. Come to find out, they were like, yeah. Everybody on the internet was like, it's got this horrible, just nasty odor. We get out there and literally it was in a cow field, so everybody was just smelling manure. I was like, we really just went on this crazy chase for some
No,
manure.
I
And
need
Jessica laughed at me, but the big thing with me is this, like, I listen to all the psychics and stuff, but it just
Yeah.
stinks because it's all the same locations back to back to back to back, and it becomes devastating because usually even when we go out there and search, there's always going to be that one person to be like, oh, well, you didn't do this or you didn't check
yes.
this spot, so then it eats at us and we go back
Yep.
again.
Yeah.
It's a never ending battle there. I ain't
I'm
gonna
sure it can get overwhelming.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
you have to ignore it. So the armchair quarterback watchers, we've had so many comments where they're like, why didn't you look under that log? There was a piece of cloth.
Every single search we've done for
I'm
anyone.
like, we literally walked through 2 miles of trail. Give me a break. Like
Why didn't you look under that rock or stone?
I
Like,
started
what
just
the-
commenting like, hey, you know what? Next time you want to come take a look with us, you're welcome to
Of
come.
course, so
That was we walked 5 miles because we didn't park close.
Yeah, and that's what I told Jessica. She was like, "Yeah," I was like, "You know that we literally just walked the entire town. We're dying." And I said, I'm telling you now, Jessica, I said, as soon as I go and post a video to show that we went there, they're going to be like, "Well, you didn't get in the water." And by God, that
No,
was
we
the
know
very
that. That's
first
why
statement.
Ryan,
That was the
why Ryan has all these
Yeah,
drones.
yeah, exactly why I bought a drone, because people kept making that damn comment.
I was like, never.
Yeah, is this GoFundMe legit? GoFundMe. F send Jennifer
Talking
to
Workings come-
honor. Do you guys know what this GoFundMe is? Is this like a scam one?
I
or
don't know.
something?
I have to look into that one because there's a couple, like I know Jen caught it today because apparently like on Venmo, I don't have Venmo. I'm too poor. But apparently on Venmo, somebody has made
Yeah, wait.
accounts with Jennifer's like profile picture and is sending requests to like people that like she's got money from or send money from to. And she sent money to Robbie at some point, and somebody, I guess they don't know that that's her son, and sent requests today for $20. So we're having problems with accounts.
Do you know? Do you guys know who Holly Lawson is?
Yeah, she's a girl in the group.
What group?
What group?
In Layla's group.
Okay, so this is
Our
probably
group.
legit, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Is that the one? Does it say anything about the garden or?
My name is Holly Lawson. I'm reaching out to every person that could donate to this fund. Donated money will go to Layla's mother, Jennifer, to go to the missing people. Oh, this is to go to the conference.
When's the conference?
That was a while back, though. So
Yeah. Then that's the older one.
2025.
yeah.
Yeah, that was to go to that
Day
Q
ago.
conference.
Do you know if this money, anything over the cost of the conference, goes to Jennifer?
Honestly, I have no idea about all that.
That's the problem.
That's weird, but all these people donated. So
Yeah, I mean, just a day ago, like 3 $10 donations. I don't know.
Oh, really?
Thanks for catching that, Real Rock and Robin. Yeah, I don't know what's up with that.
I probably have to talk to Jen about that one.
Yeah.
yeah.
How do I hide that? Comment?
Yeah, unfortunately, there's some things getting funneled elsewhere, and it's really unfortunate because, I know how they are. Honestly, we're like all of us are on the struggle bus, bigger than crap. Me and Jessica's been doing everything we can to find like odd jobs right now, and
No.
I know they're trying to get everything ready, and
The economy is crap.
horrible.
I mean, and even you guys are doing everything you do. It's not like somebody's paying your search expenses, paying your gas,
No.
paying for your anything you do. And Jessica, like I'm wearing the t-shirt, by the way. Thank you.
Yeah, I got mine on too.
I would wear mine. It's just a little bit big.
I'm assuming, Jessica, even the t-shirts came out of your pocket.
They're,
Yeah.
Yep.
they're so nice.
They came out of Jessica's
They're
pocket.
so nice.
You guys, Jessica made t-shirts for the search team and completely out of her own funds. I love it. This is like, and it's not like a cheap t-shirt either. It's like high quality.
Yeah, we want to know where you got it so we can order some.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and Jessica had an adventure finding those. I swear I had never been in one of those stores in a long, long time. And the deals on shirts, even dress shirts and stuff, it was wild. And I was like, man, I have to come here from now on. Jessica's like, yeah, this is the spot.
Real Rock and Robin, I will say that GoFundMe's, the problem with GoFundMe's, especially like I'd be tempted to just start one and funnel it to Jennifer and Opie, right, to help them with stuff. The problem with GoFundMe's is like so many scam artists, especially YouTubers, unfortunately, have used GoFundMe's to like generate funds that
For
don't,
themselves.
that don't go to the right people. And I don't think people trust it anymore. I think any GoFundMe on YouTube, unfortunately, is just nobody trusts it. you can't trust it anymore because you don't know who
Well,
you
you
trust.
can't trust it if you're not the host of it and it's not in your name. And
Yeah,
two, like I said, I'm about positive like they take a percentage. Like for one,
they do.
they take a percentage, and then two, you have to wait so long for it to like change over. Like it's a whole process. I've heard that there's other apps or other places you can do it now that are where they don't tax you and all this, but I've just got to look more into it to try to help her out with that one. But
Thank you, Rockin' Robin.
Yeah, thank you. If you do put out flyers, anybody who puts out flyers, I will tell you there's one restaurant I got to give a shout out to. It's the Crazy Chicken in Kingsport. Is that what they're called?
I think so.
yeah,
Crazy Chicken. They will let you put up any missing persons flyer. Like they're
yeah,
so
it's really
supportive.
hard.
Yep.
You'd be surprised. I won't ever forget. We were out searching and we had stopped to put flyers around, and I swear Jessica was like, everybody was waiting on it for me to get an attitude because we were walking around the Super 8 and we were putting up flyers there, and he was like, oh, well, you can't put none on our building, take them off, and was really nasty to us. And I was like, he was like, what is that? I was like, it's a missing poster. And then
I
he's
know.
like, missing poster? I was like, yeah, like her mom's standing right there, sir. And he was like, you better take it down. And I swear it took everything in me. Like he followed us around and everything.
Really?
Yeah, I went to the very first poll that wasn't their building and posted it because
Jeez. I don't know about people.
we left some in a few places just because no.
Make a point.
Yeah. Yeah, you didn't
I
have to
don't
be
get-
so mean about it. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, Rockin' Robin, that would be awesome.
What?
Brothers are
Oh wow. Brother's a graphic artist locally. That would be really cool. Honestly, we need to get, and I will say we're local. Everybody watching this video, we live in Gray, which is I work in Kingsport. Any business that will support putting up flyers for Jennifer, flyers for Layla Santanello, flyers for Holland Snap, Summer Wells, any of the local missing persons cases, I will mention you on live. I will mention you on our channel. I will promote you. Like, there's no reason to turn away people who are trying to put up flyers for the missing because there's not enough. There's not enough of them. There's not enough people who know about these cases. Like, we assume being involved in all of these cases. Like when we were doing a search for Michael Small,
Right.
the guy who went missing, the elderly man who went missing in Abingdon, right? And you guys were there. You guys went on a search for that case. And we started asking people locally, hey, have you ever heard of this missing person? And you'd be surprised, like we think everyone knows. Because we're involved in it, like we follow it constantly. And you'd be shocked how many people are like, who are you talking about? I've never heard about this.
The last time that we had a search, Sierra and I had met volunteers at a local Dollar General, and we were speaking to the lady that was working in there. And she had no idea about Layla or Holden. So that was definitely an eye opener that we're still not reaching everybody.
It's crazy. Even locally.
yeah,
You
I was
think
gonna
everyone-
say like Bloomingdale is like a quiet area. You know what I mean? Small town in the side of a city, and like I told her, I was like, man, that makes me feel like I need to put a lot of footwork in Bloomingdale so that people know because they still pay 50 cents to get a newspaper, or well, I'm sure it's more than that now, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Welcome to put a flag. That Sierra.
You're cutting out, sister.
I said I was glad that we had just mentioned that because we do need to make a few flyers to take in this area and back to that Dollar General and try to cover that area a little more.
Yeah.
You guys tell
I
me
definitely agree with that.
any business who doesn't support you putting up flyers, you let me know because I am an official Google local guide and I will post the most negative comment on their Google review if they don't let you post those flyers. So you let me know.
Okay.
I was about to say I found a few, but I was about to say I usually dangle them, at least put them outside the buildings at most. But you know,
All right, we are going to tackle the next lie, and this is one I enjoy because it is.
Enjoy a lie.
I like lies that are so easy to debunk with
yes.
like if you have so much evidence that you can just pile on and they look like total freaking idiots for saying this shit. And this is one I need my mouse space. I'm sorry. Can you take your phone, please? All right. let's share this particular lie because this blew my mind that somebody would actually say this. All right. This one came from the same anonymous account that I blocked the name because we have no reason to promote their channel at all. This is another comment, but it was from the creator, so it was from the channel themselves. We couldn't agree more with that, except why not be honest about it all instead of fundraising for one thing and using it for another, especially when Layla has never benefited from a single fundraiser. So apparently, let's get back to this. Let's just talk about this for a little bit. So apparently Jennifer Santanello is raising funds, whole bunch of funds, and she's not spending anything from those funds on searching for Layla Santanello. Okay. All right. So that we got the claim out there. Now let's take a look to see if this one's true. This is gonna be fun. This is one I was looking forward to. All right, so we've got. Let's see. I'm gonna go. I honestly, Jennifer sent me so many friggin' receipts. Like I don't even know where to start. So, all right, so we've got. I. Let's see. You guys know who Gregory White is? Is that like the search dog dude?
no.
All right, so we've got a Gregory White. So here's the thing: like she sent me receipts for PIs and the search dog people. So we've got just look at all the subtractions, right? We got that minus 400, 400, 500, 1500.
I think that's the PI, ain't it, Opie?
Oh,
Yeah, it is.
A total of
something PI.
$1,500 for this PI, this private investigator. Let me just $1,500.
Yeah, that did her a lot of good, you know.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
right,
yeah,
I
yeah.
know.
I'm sure he sent her lots of information that helped with finding where her daughter is. I'm not. Yeah, let's not. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's being sarcastic.
Yeah, I can't.
No,
I'm
I
just.
know.
It
No, he
pisses me
didn't.
off.
He wasn't very much help at all. He, like I
Yeah,
said,
that was
I heard more information from like when handing out flyers and doing the things with Trevor and people coming out, and he didn't come back with hardly anything. I think there was one thing that kind of upset me at one point. And before Jen even hired people, I was like, Jen, this is a waste of money on private investigators. I feel like I feel like those is more like if you're trying to catch someone cheating, that's going to be able to bring you back evidence because anybody can say, hey, I've done this and was out here doing this. But when he sent a statement or a bill for 22 hours for internet searching, and I was like, one of them things, see, I told you, he would even think about charging for
Yeah,
22
I'll tell
hours of
you.
internet searching?
I think
I could become a PI then.
Jen would do it for free. I mean, internet
Yeah.
searching. We have tons of people who do internet searching. I mean, they don't even
Uh,
charge for it. Man.
That's what kind of blew my mind about that, and it's just, I don't know. It was, but during the time, Jen's thinking she's trying to do all avenues, and people's paying to help get it done, and her brother was a big contributor to that, and so hey, we had to find one and just hope for the best, and that's what we try to do is give people the benefit of the doubt and hope they do what they're going to do.
Right.
She was desperate. I mean, Jennifer was trying to do what she possibly could with
Hmm.
what resources are available, right? I mean, if there's a PI who she thinks can maybe get answers, then I understand like spending the money. Bottom line is, I'm going to go back to this. Where was that again? I'm going to go back to this. She literally spent $1,500 trying to find her daughter in this one situation.
That's just
Oh, we
one.
ended up
That's
paying them more than that. Yeah, that was just the retainment fee of 30 hours of
Oh my
just a
gosh.
work.
retainer. Nice.
Yeah. Pretty much a retainer and guaranteed 30 or 40 hours worth of work. 20 hours worth of 20 hours worth of work. And then
Jeff's
anything
like,
after
Yeah, that's
that,
like
crazy.
a,
yeah,
It's
Jeff's
like
like a,
you made that
gave
comment
them
the other day about
walking
it being
around cash. Yeah, it was
the other
a.
day talking about that. It makes me I would make me wish I would have took that little certification.
Yeah.
honestly,
Golly,
you probably should,
that's
Sierra. You'd be a pretty damn good
I know.
PI,
You
honestly.
would.
that's crazy. This is the amount that they ask for over it's nonsense. It
Right.
just
Hey, you can
it hurts.
make a fortune.
No, I'd be one of them cheap ones. You know what I mean?
Do it for
She'd
I'd
be
be one of
like
the cheap ones.
100 hours of internet research for $50.
Yep. Probably.
Now, Sierra and Jessica, they have done a lot of PI work. They could probably look into a career for it. Honestly, they come back with a lot of information. They was doing a lot of work, foot groundwork, and asking a lot of questions and coming back with a lot of information and at least a lot of
Right.
I know.
something to go on. I was very impressed with
And we're
what
just
these two
getting
ladies
started.
have done. Yeah, yes, sir.
We're just getting started. Let's look at precise. Let's see here. Precise Intel. Apparently another PI, I guess. Greg White. $1,125. I mean, I kind of get, charging someone $150 to canvas a car wash. I mean, I would charge
Canvas the car wash.
$150, but I'm not gonna itemize.
Oh,
I'm just gonna
canvas
say
the car wash.
she spent $1,125 additional dollars
Okay, so they
on.
looked around the car wash.
I don't. Like I said,
Is that what it means?
I'm not gonna nitpick what he did. I'm just saying. And then this is the other thing. So one thing people don't realize about Jennifer is every single vigil, every time there's a search, every time there's things like this that happen, she'll buy gloves for searchers. And in this case, like you see on the screen, she's buying the candles for the vigil, 150 church candles. Like there are expenses people don't even consider,
Yeah.
and she's buying this shit and she's not getting any credit. Instead, she's having some asshole out there on TikTok saying that she's not spending anything on her daughter or her daughter's searches or anything to do with Layla. Like this is just one thing after another.
It's funny how people will say that it's so easy to prove them wrong.
Yeah, I mean it's countless. It doesn't end, you guys. It doesn't end. Here's another $40 to I don't know who that was. Maybe here is she sent me. I'm like, Jennifer, why are you sending me receipts for restaurants? She goes, because when we traveled for, I think this was a conference or I can't remember specifically what this is for, but she goes, there were meals. I think this is for a search. I think this is like food for searches. She was sending me every single damn receipt. When I asked her for receipts, she sent me things like restaurant receipts for things she spent on people who were searching.
Go think they have to eat.
Or like trips to a conference. Like she sent me everything. Here's another one. This is this is Gregory White, $400. Have fun, Jen. I'm just going through the receipts. I mean, there's another 500 for the PI. I mean, I just want to know. Here's $3,600. I mean, I can keep going. I don't know how much evidence people need to shut the hell up, saying Jennifer's not spending money on trying to find her daughter. Like, are we done yet? Do you need to keep going? There's another $1,600.
Oh Lord. Oh God.
Like-
I just had to see the bravado on there.
$2,000.
I got sniffing the ground whiplash on that one.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
I bet
was
you I bet
comical.
you love this one, right? This one right here. This is a good one.
Oh yeah.
What's that one say?
Highly professional, expert,
Oh,
quality search and rescue. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Here's the thing, you guys, that you don't understand about missing persons cases. Most of the receipts I just showed you was money that a mother who
It's
is
okay. That's all we
grieving
gotta do.
over her missing daughter spent on PIs, and in some cases, people who claimed to be search and rescue experts who could find her daughter, and she's willing to send them $1,000, $500, $2,000, $1,900. I just showed you a whole bunch of receipts that she paid to these people. Where's her daughter? Where's her daughter? Like, I am not going to stand here and say that we don't go to families and say we're going to try to find your missing person, right? We're not going to charge them $2,000 to make a promise that we know we most likely can't keep, because most likely you can't find their missing persons. You can try, but if you're going to charge a family money to find their missing person, you better damn well have the qualifications. In that case, you better have your professional license. You better not be getting on the damn ground sniffing after your dog is smelling shit. Like, you better know what the hell you're doing if you're going to charge the family of a missing person. That's all I have to say on that. But number one tonight, she spent a lot of damn money on her daughter. She wants to find her daughter, and she spent money she doesn't have. Like, Jennifer and Opie do not have this money. They don't have this kind of cash to throw around. But she still did it because she wants to find her daughter, and she's spending every dollar she doesn't have to get help, and half the time she's getting bullshit people who aren't actually able to do what they promised to do.
Right.
Most of the people out there who are dog handlers, and we learned a hell of a lot about this past weekend ago. They don't, 9 times out of 10, number one, they don't want to charge missing persons families. They don't want to charge the family. They want to help. They really want to help. You got Sam Percararo, if I pronounce her name right.
Yeah.
Sam came to Kingsport the weekend after she got certified. She met us. She met the folks you see on the screen. She met the search team. She met Jennifer. She took her dog out, her dog Duke. Took him out of the
He's
car.
an awesome dog.
Searched the abandoned property. Did not ask for a freaking dime. And when she heard about these people who are scamming the hell out of Jennifer Santanello, she was beside herself, because legitimate dog handlers, if they can help it, if they can afford it, they will do it out of their own pocket because they want to help the families. That's the sign of a legitimate team.
Right.
And so I hope everyone has seen tonight that the claims that this TikTok channel, and Opie's right, it's only a couple hundred people, honestly. It's really only the followers.
Really, it's only like five accounts.
Yeah, 5 legitimate
you know
people.
What, Sierra, I agree. I agree.
And I'm probably going to get in trouble for saying this. I probably shouldn't say it, and I know you guys
just say
don't want to talk about drama, but I will tell you there is something I recognize. I'm probably going to get threatened tomorrow for saying this publicly. By you guys know exactly who's going to threaten me. But I'm just going to say it because these 2 claims I'm disproving tonight about her not searching for a long time after Layla went missing, which we've just proven is not true, at least early 2023. About her not spending money on looking for Layla or on Layla's case. Those 2 specific claims. Also, I'm sorry, you guys. I hope I don't get shit for this, but those specific claims, the first person I reached out to in this case, the first person I contacted, actually, I tried to contact Jennifer, but Jennifer's too popular on TikTok to respond to me, tiny little YouTubers, until eventually later she got in touch with me. But I thought she was ignoring me. Okay. So I didn't initially get in touch with Jennifer. I tried to. The person who I got in touch with was Brittany Ziegler, the mother-in-law, the stepmother, or whatever you want to call her.
No.
Dad's girlfriend.
Girlfriend.
No, that's girlfriend.
Okay, Sierra, what would you call her?
We can't do all
Don't
that.
answer. Don't answer. All I'm saying is that I first got in touch with her in this case. I wasn't talking to Jennifer for months. I didn't know Jennifer. I didn't know Opie. She made these two exact claims, almost word for word, that this anonymous account is now making. She made from a long time ago when I first met her. She said these same exact two things. Okay, I'm sorry, Brittany, if you're watching this. I'm just pointing out the obvious, that this anonymous account is making the exact two main claims that you have been making to me since I first met you at the beginning of this case. And then I met Jennifer. Finally, Jennifer reached out. I can't remember how the heck I ever got in touch with her because she doesn't respond to messages. I think that's what happened in the Nancy Grace thing.
Oh, God.
I hope one of you are taking over her email account because she just can't keep up with her messages.
Talk to about Nancy Grace.
Yeah, we're working on it.
She needs to improve her communication with people, but what can be handled right? Shit can be handled with Ryan French. You know who? Yeah, don't. Yeah, it's not. We're not at that point yet, Real Rock and Robin. We don't need.
We'll get back to you.
Yeah, we'll get back to you. If I need your husband's help, I know where to find you. All I'm getting at with this is that I heard those two claims. I believed it at the beginning, and I started actually listening to who was it? Stephen, the private investigator who started putting stuff out.
Yeah.
I just believed it because I wasn't in contact with Jennifer. Yeah. And then in 2024, I think we met Jennifer. We met Opie. Right. We went on searches with you guys.
Can I just say something?
Yeah.
Look at Opie right now.
Yeah, I know. He's such an evil guy. Look at him holding a kid, rocking her to sleep.
Who takes care of
I'm a bad man.
Oh, man.
That's her favorite person. That's all I can say. Yeah. That's her favorite.
She loves her puppy.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the thing about it. I guess she recently made a video taking more shots at me because of what I've said about her. But a lot of it only came out because of the fact that I know who's behind those fake pages, and that's where all their fuel comes from. And that's the hard part. And that's the kind of the big betrayal behind it all because, of course, in this situation, everybody, Jen wanted to work together. She didn't want to be making videos in front of camera. So she kind of hoped that, she could get her help to do those things. But then when the lies kind of came slipping by, and then when people were messaging oh, well, she's saying all these things about you and da-da-da-da-da, she had to take control. She had to. And ever since then, it's just been hostility. It is what it is.
Yep.
It is what it is.
Just what we need at a time like this, right? Is hostility.
What I don't get is the hostility seems to have started, at the beginning, she was handling everything. She was doing the media interviews. She ran the GoFundMe. And from what I hear, the GoFundMe stuff didn't actually get handled that well, if I understand correctly. The funds, I don't know where the funds went. Do you guys know anything about where the initial funds went or in the early days of the GoFundMes?
I can answer that. Hold on one second. What's up?
Poor Opie.
I know. It became a big ordeal because it was all for Layla, but then it ended up becoming more personal for them and how they needed money, how they're behind the cost of living up there. And I know things spiraled. I know that I think they changed it. I don't know if Jen ever received that or not. Honestly, that'd have to be a Jen question. But that's where it all started. That's where it all went bad. And
I'm looking for
I guess she wanted control over shirt making and profiting selling
Oh yeah.
shirts and all
Okay.
that stuff on top
I
of it,
remember
and
that.
that became a disaster. So,
Was the money
I
from
remember that
shirts
part.
supposed to go to searches or something?
I mean, yeah, that's what it should have went on, but that
I
didn't. She just talked
I
about how
purchased
lucrative it was
for that.
What's that? What's
for
that,
them.
Jessica?
I had purchased a t-shirt for that.
You had purchased the T-shirts. Okay,
No, she had purchased. I thought she said she purchased a T-shirt from her.
from her.
Yeah,
Well,
I
I
had
noticed.
shirt from Brittany early on.
Okay.
Yeah,
Probably
she had to
shouldn't.
wait like 2 months for the shirt.
What are you gonna say? You got to
Um.
get close to the mic. They can hear you.
Well, I just noticed at the. I don't know. We went to a vigil for Layla, right?
Yep.
And
Be nice.
Jen was what?
Okay.
Jen was selling her T-shirts, and then all of a sudden, a certain person came up. Wait, I've got T-shirts too. They're only $20, and she went to get them. I'm like, wait a minute. Shouldn't we be
Yeah, which
working
technically
together?
she was not welcome, but we didn't want to make a scene because,
No, I was just like,
you
shouldn't we
know,
working together and like all paying for the same T-shirt? It like where was that money going? I'm sorry. I know I probably shouldn't have said that.
It's okay.
I'm not good at old
We
timers.
did talk about it afterwards. It was a little. It was
It was a
weird.
bit strange.
It was weird. I don't know. I've from the beginning I've always been like I wish that this what is it called, split family, extended family. I wish that everyone could come together and like
Yes, that's what I was trying to say.
cooperate on trying to funnel funds to like one central location and hire legitimate people and actually do the searches the way they're supposed to be done. But it's like
And
for the past, what's that?
I said, and do it together. It's crazy to have these separated churches and nobody helping each
Yeah,
well,
everyone.
I think, in my opinion, I know that like as a family, if you work together, it's always better. But
Oh yeah.
in all reality, the distance has always been there. So you kind of can't expect the distance that between the two parties.
Right.
One's way off and has been way off and hasn't really been around, and you put that there. It's not like it's all magically going to change and they're going to morph here and be able to
No.
put their all in to actually work together. It's kind of, even long distance, it's hard to work together, but not
Yeah.
when you're not on the right terms, regardless. And it's very unfortunate, but
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
part of
you're
it.
exactly right. People don't know the family dynamics of people when they come in to missing kids cases, especially with this situation here. They're 600 miles away. Jim's been raising Layla, with the help of the Barb and her dad and other family members, but a constant with her boys and with Layla. So, and I come into the picture. I'm dating Jen, and I see her with her kids, and it was kind of refreshing because most of the women that I used to date back years ago didn't have their kids. So I'm like, wow, this is a mother that's actually here with their kids, and I've seen a loving, caring woman in her, and that's why I pursued the relationship. But when this happened, they're miles and miles away. I felt like everybody felt like Layla was a burden at the time because she would always be asking for money. She would ask strangers for money. I'd give her money. Other people would give her money. Her dad and them had this strange relationship, and they started building that relationship back when I was in and involved in with Jen. And they would talk on the phone or whatever. I can't know how many times, but at the same time, they started building a relationship again, is what I've gathered, and even from talking from Layla. But then it comes to the point where this happens, and then it's like this is how the GoFundMe and all this fiasco started. Like they were saying, they wanted the GoFundMe to fund their trip and help get here, and Jen
Yeah.
was more wanting the GoFundMe to go towards search related things and try to add that in there too to get them here because they do need to be down here. But when they did come down here, they was here, and it was just a big old mess, and it was just that's when all the finger pointing started going. You're not showing where all your money's going to, and they really wasn't getting too much traction. But the money they did get on their first trip was to help them get down here, and that's where they was here, and they was here for the first. I think was it a vigil that time, or was it?
Yeah, they came for
First,
the
Yeah,
visual.
yeah, the very first one. Yeah, that's what it was, and to be down here. And I remember, and we even talked to the detectives, and then now I remember them having to leave, but stuff started getting messy when Jen was realizing what Brittany was doing kind of behind the scenes of claiming that
The
she was her daughter.
lies.
And it was like a spotlight of, hey, this is me, and oh, feel pity for me. That's why she calls herself the stepmom. And then she might have had a relationship with Layla through phone, but we all know phone connections through what we're doing now is not as genuine or as, as
Right.
real as every day to day actions, and it was just, I feel like the family dynamic is the way I'm looking on the outside. Y'all wasn't here through this whole mess, but now that it's like when an NBA person becomes famous, everybody wants to be, and no, I'm your dad, I'm your family member, and here I am, and
Yeah.
here's what we need to do. And you can't work with somebody 600 miles away. Hey, come
Right.
help search. It's just, why should there be a GoFundMe all the way up there for search efforts in this state?
yeah, I
Yeah.
I do I do feel for so the relationship was starting to rebuild between George and
Yeah.
Layla. At least he was, that was happening. And
Hmm.
I do feel like, I mean, even though he does get angry, he will threaten sometimes if we're going to talk about Brittany or whatever. But I do feel for George because it feels like he wants to be down here. He wants to be searching. Like I get that sense from him. Like he's frustrated because he loves his daughter. He
Hmm.
wants to search for her, but there's the conflict that keeps happening with, unfortunately, with Brittany, that just it like blocks it from happening. I think if it wasn't for the conflict, I think he would actively be trying to get here as often as he could. But there's
Yeah,
all
and
this
be all on board with what
yeah,
Jennifer's doing. Yeah, you're exactly right.
I
And
think
he's
that
got a family to support, and it's hard out here. Nobody can just say, "Hey, I'm going to take 3 months away and go down here and search." It's just he loves Layla, and we've had talks, and I've been around their family. I go up there every year, and even seen George. And before all this, we was all good to go. Good relationship, and I don't know. It's heartbreaking because now he don't have that chance to keep rebuilding that
Well, it's my
relationship
thing
back.
is like, with the Nancy Grace thing, I get there's a lot he can't answer because what people fail to realize is like, yes, their relationship was so they started building back a relationship, but mostly over the phone. And these are times of like Layla is like starting to get in hard active addiction. Okay. And with Brittany, the only thing Brittany has got is like a post or a text message like, oh, you're like a mom. Well, Brittany was Layla's gateway to get money from George if she needed it. You know, Layla was doing what she had to at the time to, get along. And I'm sure Layla did like her, but she had only met her once and, it's just not there. And I know that she wants it to be more, but you can't do that. You can't go to all these places and say that my daughter's missing and I need funds and I need Christmas,
Right.
and if you are going to go about it that way, at least be truthful. That was the thing with the Nancy Grace thing. They thought that everybody was just mad that they did the interview. No, that's not the problem. The problem is when the questions about Nova being asked, y'all should have said,
Right.
we don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know. You could tell he couldn't answer, and that's why he kind of stumbled and was like, I
he
guess.
looked
Because
over
you
at
wouldn't
her.
have to
Yeah,
get if you knew, you wouldn't have to guess for one. And then there
Right.
went Brittany trying to recite, Jennifer's story.
Yeah.
That's where all the anger came from with that whole thing. Like
yeah.
because no, they have no idea how that's like or what it's really like to be around her, unfortunately, and they don't make that
Yeah,
attempt. And if they do, it's in the very wrong way, you know, like
yeah.
they
The
kind of use it
questions,
as a threat
yeah,
now.
yeah. The questions that Nova asks about her mom. The only person in the world, maybe two people in the world that I think could answer that question would be the people that are there with her every single day raising her, which would be Jennifer or Opie, who
Right.
could actually say, what does she ask about her mom and how do you respond? And that answer blew my mind. Like I was like, how can you answer that question unless you're the person who's there
Yeah, like
answering?
the other day, I was on the phone. Me and Jennifer were talking about stuff, and Nova had been on a trip. She had a time of her life, but she just randomly was talking about, I guess, mommy in my belly,
Yeah.
pointing at Jen, like, you my mommy. And then she's like, no, I had your mommy in my tummy, and your mommy had you in her tummy. And like, trying to break that down for her because she was asking questions. And I know for a fact it's absolutely hurting and killing her on the inside because,
Sure.
it's hard to ask, answer questions that you really can't give children answers to because they can't understand. They're not built for it,
Yeah.
And for someone to go around and pretend that they do know when they don't, that's just really insulting.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, because Nova's not just walking around every day. Hey, where's my mommy?
No,
I
not at
remember
all.
during the time when it did happen a couple of times. All these cartoons was always. I'd come in the room and it'd be like, "Hey, we gotta find our mommy and find our mommy." And I'm thinking, how messed up is this? In my head, thinking, "Dang, these cartoons is looking for their mommy, and this poor little girl's watching TV and don't even realize her mommy's not here." And it's like this is crazy that cartoon, but they're just playing these little games in an innocent way of, hey, let's go find mommy. Where's her mommy type
Yeah.
thing. And that's where that kind of happened. And now it's even more, more so here in the last few days. It's like Nova will be like, can you be my daddy? And I'm like,
Oh,
yeah. And I'm like, Nova, yeah, I can be your daddy, but you have a daddy, sweetheart. I'm your poppy, and it is heartbreaking. And it's just, but it ain't like she's constantly going around, hey, are you my mommy? Where's my mommy? But she does remember her mommy's name and we'll show her
yeah.
pictures and it's just yeah, for her to get on there on a national TV show and act like that's what happened from the two times you've been there, it's just that's what the lies was about. And then the Nancy Grace thing, they knew it just blew my mind that the Nancy Grace team wouldn't do their research and talk to the
Exactly.
actual parents. It's like
Yeah,
here you
same.
are, a national show, and you would rather. That's like if I woke up and someone was talking about my kid or any parent. Why is this person talking about my kid and I'm not the one talking about my kid when I'm the one that's been doing the job as the parent? And just kind of blew my mind that Nancy Grace's team would even do that.
It would be like Nancy Grace. I mean, she's told her personal story many times about her tragic situation. She lost her own child. Um, could you imagine how she'd react if someone else answered
Right?
for how anyone would feel about her child? Like, she would
Yeah.
blow up. She would
Right.
blow
That's the
up.
thing with, I thought about it too, because like, I've always liked true crime stuff, like always, just in general, but like, now I'm swamped with it because of
Yeah.
the stuff that
Okay.
I have to work with. But my thought is like for her to know that and her experience, but too, like, everybody's like, man, she's the queen of true crime and she's this. And it's like, I know that, Jennifer's situation ain't the only one.
No.
Yeah,
So imagine how many other people's stories have been told incorrectly. You know what I mean? Like
true.
it
Yeah.
definitely opened my eyes to a lot
Yeah.
because I definitely
I've
didn't
never
appreciate
felt that
that.
way about Nancy Grace. I've never felt
Well,
that
I
about
mean,
Nancy Grace. I don't know
they,
why.
Nancy Grace legitly used a photoshopped picture. Like, how could you let that slip? That's the part that really gets me. Like,
In this
you
case,
know,
Yes.
huh? Yeah,
what
Nancy
was
Grace
the?
ended. They put in the Photoshop photo of where Brittany had made. Took a picture that Jen had, and they like added her into their Christmas photo.
Oh my god. I didn't know about that.
Oh, that's
That
not
one's
good.
that
Well,
one was
in no
on there.
defense, I talked to Brittany about that, and they was just sad that they didn't have a family photo, is what she said. So that's why someone had made that picture for them. And I
Oh
get
my
it to a certain
god.
extent, but at the same time, don't try to portray it like you just had Christmas with her last year, and
Oh
this is
my
what it
god.
is.
Well, don't
I
publish it. You post it on your
Yeah,
personal page. Don't publish it
yeah,
to news articles and doing
yeah,
interviews and stuff
yeah.
with it. I just don't.
That's a
No.
nationwide interview,
Yeah.
though. That's insane. Wow.
That's what I
And
thought
Wow.
they
too.
sent one email to talk to Jen, and like you said, she is hard to get a hold of. And I'm thinking, why ain't people just calling on the phone? But they don't have a number. And like how we met you was actually they had come down for the last search last year, and they were supposed to meet up with you to search, and
Yeah.
that's how we ended up getting a hold
Oh,
of you. And
that's
was
right.
like, well, heck, we
Right.
can come
Yes.
after you. That she that she had met you in one, and I don't remember exactly what happened, but we ended up. The keys? No, they in the car. Oh, okay. Uh, okay. But yeah, that's how we had met you. And well, heck, we searched with you, and then we called Jessica and Sierra and a couple of other people that's helped,
Yep.
Chris and Ashley, and was able to meet up with you then. And what upset me about that situation is here they are. They got money to come to Tennessee, but then I feel like it was, and this is just my personal opinion. It was, hey, we can go down here for the visual thing and for the 1 year mark. And at the same time, we'll go to the courthouse and we won't even have to pay for the trip. And we'll go ahead and file for visitation custody for Nova and make lies on Opie and Jen.
Yeah.
They
Opie,
had went to the courthouse the
I,
same time the searches were supposed to be going on.
yeah, I don't know if I told you that part, but the reason they didn't meet me at the Bluff near Warriors Path State Park was because they were busy at the courthouse filing those papers. Like
Yeah.
that's the reason they couldn't meet me on the search, which blew my mind because I'm like, all right, I'm sitting there for an hour and they're literally at the courthouse filing papers on the mother of this girl who's missing. And I'm sitting there going, what kind of freaking planet am I living on that this is a situation right now?
Right. Yeah.
Like that blew my mind.
All of the volunteers that were mentioned for that search had reached out to them to see, what the plan was. Where are we searching? What time? We want to help. We want to be there, and none of them got responses. So we came to
Yeah,
that.
even I did. You know me.
Guys.
You
Yeah,
know
right.
me. And I even asked multiple times about it, and she was like, "Well,
Yeah.
we'll get back to you when we get closer to the time and date, and all da 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 da." And that was what was crazy too, because even if that was your intent to file those papers, why in the world would you make all those crazy allegations on top of it? And then
Yeah.
after signing those papers, you go on these fake pages that you fuel and try to persuade that you don't know who Nova's father is and start this whole other nasty rumor. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But
That's
she
the
wrote it down in the court papers who she knew who Nova's dad was. She knew then, but
thing with the fake
she
page.
got
Okay.
amnesia.
Easy to who's behind them, who is fueling them with stuff, because there's a lot of private information and screenshots from certain people that we know, and they've passed it along to this fake page. So it's very easy to see who's behind it.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, like the moment I saw the claims, I had no question in my mind. I had no question like who's making the claims because they're the same exact claims. And then the additional information that you guys are like, well, there's also screenshots and all this other stuff. So I'm like, we can't say it beyond a shadow of a doubt that we know it is. So I'm not going to make a claim that it's absolutely her. But I mean, yeah, I'm very suspicious. I think it probably is, and I don't understand why you'd want to do that in the middle of
Just
searching for a woman who's literally missing, and the focus should be on finding her. I don't.
that's
I,
everything.
I do have to point out. There's one more thing. Um, this anonymous account. I had put out a post. We were going to do a full investigation. Like this was going to be a documentary on who the hell this actually was. We were going to prove
Mhm.
it. I had like 6 people, and if the people who volunteered to do the investigation are watching, I apologize for not following up, because what happened was I had like 5. I had a private investigator from California. I had a woman in Kingsport who works for the government who said she could pull some strings and get some records for us and all kinds of shit like that. And we had a woman from the UK who was willing to like work her way into the group and figure out what's going on and who's who and all this stuff. I had actually gone so far as to do a background check on a whole bunch of the people who were commenting on the anonymous account. I could find their records. The one weird thing I found was that like most of them, the ones I looked into, had their own criminal records. Like in one case, this one woman had like several theft charges, fraud charges. They're not good people. Like the people that are attacking are not good people. They're like kind of sketchy. But what happened was this account all of a sudden I posted, I said, "Hey, I need help. I need researchers. We've got to nail down who the hell these people are once and for all and expose them." And you guys noticed all of a sudden it's kind of gone quiet. There hasn't been a whole lot.
Well, y'all know what I'm gonna say and what happened, what I got to see happen, whether
Oh.
anybody believes it or not. You know what I'm saying? Uh, but yeah, as soon as the threat had gotten made, a video got posted, or I got blocked from Bree's page, and within 5 seconds, I got
Oh
blocked from
yeah.
the fake
Oh yeah.
page.
Oh, me
And
too. Yeah.
then she had made a video practically talking about how she's, how she's more than what she is to her, and how the gloves are coming off, and that they're going to get Nova again, because like now that's like the threat. But after she got a bad response from that video, it's been silent on both ends since then. There was a
Yeah.
random moment that I think they slipped up, because they had made a post. Me and Jessica caught it. They had made a post talking about happy belated birthday to Layla. And, you know,
Oh
uh,
yeah.
they go into this thing about how they're just here for justice and truth, and they were never trying to be negative, or they didn't want people to get attacked, and they apologize. Well, Jessica goes on there and's like, dude, it's way past her birthday, like what? And then they were like, well, we got hacked, we see what y'all are doing, we got hacked. And it's like, I don't know who you thought hacked you, because the main people are right here, and I know none of us spent time doing that. So
What a coincidence. Get hacked at that exact moment. Wow.
Wow.
yeah, it was pretty
Funny
funny.
how life works, isn't it?
I'll tell what I will say is that to the people who volunteered, I apologize for not following up. Since the account went silent, other than that one thing Sierra described, I haven't seen a need. Like there hasn't been a lot of attacks, so I am like, why would we want to go ahead and blow that up? If they're going to be quiet, if they're not going to keep attacking Jennifer, that's fine. We're not going to cause issues. We're not going to dig. We'll just let sleeping dogs lie for now. If they want to respond to this live and start attacking again, then fine. We can take it from there and we can ramp up again. But if they're done, these 2 claims, which we've obviously debunked tonight, let it go. Everybody knows the truth now. Jennifer spends a whole shitload of money on trying to find her daughter
Yeah.
and time out there in the woods herself, not only the search team, everyone.
Mhm.
If we're going to let it rest and we're going to just move on and try to find Layla and find answers, that's the best thing in my opinion, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
And I want to throw something out there too, because I did see someone comment about this earlier. And I'm somebody that's very much in both cases with Holland's and Layla's. And I want to make this very clear. They're not related. There was two separate incidences.
Yeah.
It was not done by the same person or the same group. Everybody, if you go into Holland's story, everybody kind of already knows who to point the finger at on that one and knows
Yeah,
kind of what
yeah.
happened with it, on that one. The only connection that they can link to the two is that there's some of the same related parties, and I know they hold on to the Trish thing because Trish was in a car with a person that said something about Holland, yada yada yada. But what we need to know about where their locations are, they're not going to be. You know what I mean? It's not like the same person done this and took off with both of the girls. And I think some people, kind of, I don't know if they get that confused or, because it is kind of close together. They're close to age and they run in the same close circles. But we live in a small town.
Right.
Like, I can't go outside without, knowing at least 5 of the people, like.
Yeah, I will say
It's not
this,
like
Sierra.
what people think it is.
So I know that in the early days, I think it was 2024, both Jennifer and Holland's foster mom. Oh my gosh, I
Leslie.
can't remember. Thank you,
Leslie.
Leslie. They for a little while they were like, "What's going on?" Because they're roughly the same characteristics. They were smaller girls. They kind of had the same like characteristics, almost like a serial killer kind of has an
Right.
MO, and they suspected like it was really close together what's going on. But I have to be honest with you, the girls around here who have gone missing, like the teenage girls, they continue having the same characteristics. It's really weird. They're smaller, they're like under 5, they're 5-ish. Yeah, like there's another one, Jen. Joan A. Watson.
In, I think, 31st, 2015. 15 years old from Kingsport. I don't think we've heard about
But
her.
see the
I was
size.
going to
She
say
is,
lot of those are a lot of those that are. I mean, because really, right now, I only know of like 3 that are like legitly still actively missing, besides the random ones that pop up. Because most of the time, it's like missing girls that go and they get found because a lot
yeah,
of
they're
times
runaways.
runaways.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
usually
You know.
the Bureau of Investigations. These are updated.
It just seems like the ones that do go missing for longer periods of time, it's always like around 5 feet, between 5 feet to 5'2" or 3, and they're like 110, 105 pounds. They're always like the same.
Small girls.
They're small girls. They're smaller girls.
I feel like the people could have known of those people. I feel like there's certain connections that way, but like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know?
I hate to think it's related to like trafficking, but after I heard the story from that girl who lived on the hill at the property we searched, I can't remember her
Mhm.
name. I interviewed her. She was like she lived up there when she was in in that drug world, and she told me that she was in Bristol in one of these trap houses. There were a bunch of girls in the basement, and like guys would pull up in vans, come in, pick a girl, and drive her off. And I keep hearing things like that, and it makes me think that there is like some form of human trafficking going on
Could be.
in the area.
Oh yeah, that's definitely possible. I feel like that's almost going on everywhere right now, honestly.
I agree.
Yeah. I will say that in Layla's case, and I hate to say this, I mean, with Opie sitting right there watching me, I hate saying negative things about the case, but I don't think she's trafficking, and I do think just based on, I mean, we've all talked. No, I don't think she's been trafficked. We've all talked about the evidence and the people who are talking in this case, and the
Yeah.
circumstances. I don't know. I'm assuming you guys agree that probably that's not the case here. That it's
Yeah.
something else. Yeah.
No, I don't believe it's
Yeah.
got anything to do with trafficking.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why. I mean, it really stinks because it's like that constant battle, and like that's why I say I can only imagine how Jen feels because I know how I feel personally, and it's like
Yeah.
of course, when you care and you love somebody, you just want to have that glimpse of hope on the end of the line. And somebody had asked a question one day and was like, would you rather have somebody tell if your kid was missing, would you rather have somebody tell you that they're just missing, or would you rather, know that they're not coming
Yeah.
back? And I was like, I would rather know that they're not coming back. I would not want to sit
100%.
there because that automatic stir of crazy, it's overwhelming. It's an overwhelming
Ye-
feeling, that just alone,
Yeah.
But
Your
I
mind
want
is
to wish
constantly.
that.
Yeah.
But between the things that I've seen, I just don't feel like that's the case here, unfortunately. I wish that wasn't how it seemed. I'd love to think that she's just out, ran away, and, said she needed a break or something. But
Yeah.
Mm.
I
I know
honestly
she,
entertained that when I first started investigating, like looking into this case. I'm like, well, maybe she wanted to get away because the court case was coming up. Maybe she just wanted to like avoid
no.
that whole thing. But so much time has gone by, and there's so many stories from the other characters involved. There's like,
And that's the thing, too, because I know that's another accusation that's been brought up is the fact that, because of court being the next day, what people
yeah,
seem to fail to realize is that Layla loved Nova. Nova was her world, and she was a good mom. She willingly left Nova to Jennifer. This was never a forced act. This was
yeah,
never, no, you know what I mean? Like, she asked Jen to take Nova because she knew where she was going was not the safest place for her. And she wanted her daughter to be in the most safest, responsible hands possible. And she knew at that time she could not handle it. Now, when it
Right.
came to court, all that was to sign a document so that Jen could be able to take her to, Nova to the doctor and do the legal stuff, that she needed to do for her. That's all that was. And nothing was
yeah,
forced. None of that's, because I've heard a lot of state people like, oh, well, they've tried to insinuate that Jen had this whole idea and they just didn't want her to come to court. And like, you got to have a horrible thinking to think that. Especially if you knew Jen. There's absolutely no way. And there's no
yeah.
way either that Layla would stay away from Nova if she was around. She
No,
just
we've
Yeah,
wouldn't.
done that more and more so to protect Nova, and I commended Layla, and because me during my time of active addiction, I had my kid with me everywhere. Poor kid, you know what I mean? Well, my girl, my mother of my child, she'll be in the room while we're outside playing, and we switch places, and I go in and she go out and kept our kid to the safest possible way, but
Yeah.
living through this whole addiction thing, I was like, nobody's taking my kid. I'm still an active father, but Layla showed true love and then to say, hey, here, please keep her because I'm not in the right state. And then we had to
Yeah.
do that because
Nice.
it was one night she had come over and, hey, we want our baby. You're not gonna come get your baby 3 months in at 10 o'clock at night. Come on, and then we thought we got to do something to protect Nova because at the end of the day, this is a toddler. You're an adult. You're gonna make your
yeah,
choices, but we've been active. I've told somebody the other day, I've been in Nova's life since she was born. A couple months, Layla would have her and do what she's supposed to be doing, and Layla was an awesome mom in the beginning. We're there for her daughter, doing everything she needed to do, trying to be an active person, but then slowly, it's just the postpartum hit, and then Layla did an honorable choice by letting her stay here, and she knew. And
I think so too.
yeah, and
Well,
it,
the
and
other
it
thing
takes a
too
lot
is
of
that
courage and a lot of love to do
Yeah.
something.
and
Mm.
you guys have already been through the ringer as far as, I mean, last year there were accusations. I assume based on what Jennifer said, I think there was like people actually checking out the place to make sure it's safe for Nova. There was an investigation because of the court papers filed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
court papers fine,
because
so
of the
they got to their due
allegations.
diligence. Yeah, DCS
That
was
got
here.
that
I
got
Guardian allowed them,
and that got cleared, right?
Mm-hmm.
yes, sir.
Yeah.
She's still with you guys.
Yes,
So
sir. Cleared, and then they never even showed up for their court dates, and ended up
Well, I can tell she's well cared for.
like I said, I felt like that one time they come down here and raised money to get here was more of an effort of her saying, "No, we won't have to spend a dime, and we can go down there on search effort times, and we'll be able to file, and we'll be able to get this baby." And that's how I feel.
yeah.
What happened? Now, if that's how didn't happen, but that's how it felt like it did. Like you said, they was at the courthouse filling out papers at the time, so it's like, well, here we are, and of course everything was cleared and good to go, and nothing here, here we're raising her, everything's only thing that
Yeah,
maybe I don't know, it
the
just blows my mind.
the statements that's recently been made about trying to take them to court a second time like that, if you really do that and you really think that that's something that's going to happen for you, you'll be absolutely insane, and that judge will be like, y'all wasn't even responsible enough to show where this is not, this child's not a game or a token.
Yeah.
She's been in that house, and like I said, for one, if you actually love Layla and love Nova, don't take that proud moment of Layla's of making that decision. Like, hearing
Yeah.
that she done that, I was so beyond proud of her, regardless of what kind of state she was at. Don't
Yep.
take that away from her. Just don't.
You
You
respect
know?
her wishes to begin with. Yeah. Yep.
Mm.
Yeah, that's like
And
discrediting
then
what she did. That's not fair. That's not fair at all.
Well, I have a feeling if you do that a number of times with a court, they're going to charge you because you can't keep on filing false charges. That's
Oh,
actually
yeah,
a that's actually a criminal offense. It's like I don't
I
know if
feel
it's
like it should be
something of the court. What's it called?
abuse.
filing a false
Well,
claim
it's
or
like abuse. There's a corpse, Jen. We're not talking about a. Wow, she's watching way too much true crime.
But that's
Abuse
what
of a
blew my
corpse.
mind. How can
Wow.
someone from 600 miles away claim to know what's going on in someone's house based off, they say, off people that know us? And people that know us don't really know us because we're secluded. We talk to you all and associate with you all and Sierra and Jessica, but nobody's here at my house. Nobody, like I was telling my friends today, my priorities is work and family, and I'm not
Yeah.
in the streets no more. I'm not wanting to hang out with the boys and go run the streets. I want to come home and be here. It's like nobody knows me because I don't associate y'all. You know a memory of me. You know a memory of me 20 years ago. Yeah, we was best friends 20 years ago. But I done been through so much and done been isolated and separated. I realized, hey, I'm not that person. I'm not in the same things you all are. I don't want friends. I don't even want friends coming over here to visit me because it just bothers me. You're getting into my TikTok time or my family time. You know what I mean?
And he ain't kidding
I,
about that. He ain't
Yeah,
I
even
want to
kidding.
do so. Leave me alone.
I found it. So it's contempt of court, or there's something called malicious prosecution when you
Okay.
when you try to keep on going after someone, same claims have been disproven, malicious
Well,
prosecution, and there's also False Claims Act.
Hmm.
well, that's why I said in the first place, because during the times that it's been mentioned to the, court a second time's been brought up, it's all been in a malicious way, not out of a caring way. And obviously they're not making smart moves by making that public, because the snapshot queen over here, you know, I'm quick on it. I'm quick on it.
Yeah, Sierra's
And that's and
Sierra's
that's
got a whole lot of screenshots. I'll tell you that.
yeah. And that's the thing, though. They don't have to go to a court thing. Call. I've begged them and begged them. Just call. Please call.
Yeah.
I'll answer the phone. Whatever kind of drama you think we have going on, I don't, because I love you, George, and I want you to be a part of your granddaughter's life. And you have to make that effort. I'm not going to call you and do all that. But then there's been a couple of times that, hey, I have called and said here and over and let them talk. put a smile on my face, and because my heart does break for him. This is a man that's not probably going to be able to see or hear from his daughter again, and hopefully, people that hurt the worst out of this is Jen, and the biological parents, Jen and George. Jen for
Yeah, I
being the
agree.
mother that she was, and George for being, this is your biological kid. I can leave any day of the week. Brittany could be gone 3 years from now. And this is Jen and George's issue that they got to deal with. And of course, Layla had two stepdads, and I'm not a stepdad of Layla. I come to her life when she was 17. That's what pisses me off about Brittany. You come into this life as this kid is already almost an adult. To call anybody a step parent, it blows my mind. We're not step parents. We were friends to Layla. And it's like I told the boys when I dated their mom and Layla. I'm not here to be your dad or your stepdad. I'm here to make your mother happy. And being nice and respectful to you kids is what makes her happy. So I'm not going to go below that. I'm always gonna respect you and be nice. I even joke around saying I don't even gotta like you. I just gotta be respectful and nice to you.
Yeah.
But I did, and then I built, and that's what takes you. It takes time to build that relationship. Now, if Eli says, "Hey, that's my stepdad," great, but I'm not ever gonna put that role on myself until the kids put that on there.
Right,
They
exactly.
have
Yeah, the
they,
thing
they
is,
have stepdads, and they have a dad. Eli's got a great dad, and then but Layla had that. He had Eli's dad Robert for 7 years in Layla's life. Then my friend Nug was in Layla's life, and he's them two are her stepfathers. They put in the
Opie,
time and effort.
Opie, I gotta tell you, there aren't many, there aren't many men like you.
No, I can attest to
I
that.
just got to tell you, so the thing is, a lot of guys who come into a situation like this, they try to take over. They're like, "Hey, I'm the man of the house now. I'm in charge. I am your dad. You listen to me. You do my,
No, yeah,
you're stepping into this whole thing like, I'm here for your mom. I'm here for her. I want to respect her wishes. I want to respect the kids because that's what she wants." Like, I don't hear you don't hear that all the time from guys who come to a situation like this. That's really
uh,
rare and very mature.
Yes.
And just like, I don't know, you're wise beyond your years. It's crazy. It's crazy to hear you
well,
talk.
I
I hear you
appreciate
talk
it.
in the field sometimes when you're like, "Hey, I'm like, why, Opie? Are you out here all the time?" I'm thinking, you're
Walking through the poison ivy
yeah,
and
middle of the woods, walking through the trees,
getting a
charging through
tick.
off trail, and you're like, I'm thinking you're gonna say, I'm doing this for Jennifer. You literally were like, her dad never had a relationship with her. I want conclusion. I want closure for Jennifer and for
Jennifer
George.
and George, yes sir.
Even for George. Like, you're doing it for both of them because you feel like they need closure, and it's not something every guy would say.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? In a situation like this. So
Hmm.
huge kudos and respect to you for
Yeah,
that.
I respect
Well,
that.
thank you, thank you.
Yep. So yeah,
Thank
we're
you.
in 2 hours. we're into 2 hours.
Really, 2 hours?
It flew by really fast. Thank you guys so much. Again, I will say to the account that made these claims that we've debunked tonight, if you want to keep the peace, if you want to keep it quiet and not keep on posting more false claims,
Make it fool yourself.
then fine, that's awesome. I'll let the people know who volunteered to start digging that we don't need to bother. That we can lay this to rest and we can focus all of our energy and resources and money and time on where it should go, and that's finding Layla,
Yeah.
searching for Layla wherever and however we can. So I hope that's the case. And to you guys, I never cease to be amazed by the never-ending spirit of like never
Yeah.
giving up.
It's always great to get together with you guys.
You guys are unbelievable. Like, you never give up, even when every search is like, yep, another nothing. This last one, I got to tell you, I was so hopeful for this property. This abandoned property. I really thought we'd find that hole. We'd find something. We'd
Yeah.
find a smell. We brought in a goddamn cadaver dog.
Right.
And I'm thinking the dog's going to smell something. We're going to have answers, and nothing. And the first thing you guys were like, all right, where's the next place?
Well, I do think
Where do
we
we need
got
to go?
bits. I do think we got bits from there. So I think
Yeah.
even then, I feel like it was beneficial. I mean, as hard as we made as many days, but I do feel like there's something, you
I
know,
think
not what we need. We need her, but I feel like it kind of
Yeah.
I
helped
felt
put
like
two and two in other situations together.
That's
But
a good point, Sierra. You are the one that often talks to people in the community, and I forgot it triggered some things, didn't it? It triggered conversations. It triggered people talking, and that was a good thing that came out of it. That's a good point. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, that's why I say on these, it's definitely discouraging. But like, there's really no option to not like to give up. There's just that's just
Yeah.
not in the
exactly.
cards. But I will say that we are having a vigil for people that are local. We are having a vigil for Layla on the 27th. So that'll
Borden
be
Park,
Friday.
right?
Yeah, at Borden
Where is it
Park.
again? Borden Park.
And we are asking for people that aren't local that want to join to, light you a candle, record it, don't record it, doesn't really matter, but to light a candle in honor of Layla. And if you want to video record it and put hashtag join the search for Layla Santanello, that'd be great. We'll make a collage out of it. And
Oh, that'd be nice.
Yeah, that's a really cool idea. I love
Yeah,
that.
I like
So
that.
yeah, everyone local, not local, if you want to drive, Friday, June 27th, 2025, 8:30 p.m. Candlelight Memorial.
Borden
And Jennifer has asked for as many people this year. She really needs the support. She really needs the support. So please come out, support this
yeah, I can
case.
see we also would like to show, like, people they need to see that the community will come together, and we also need to get the community to get together to show like how much we need people to actually show on these searches and to
Yeah.
do these
Yes.
things and to share her face and her story. Like, if you can't come search, share, because I know we all know searching is not easy. It is not for the faint-hearted.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
it is a task. So I get why like everybody just can't go out there, but I know that that we could have a lot more support, and the more the better for Jen, just all around.
Yeah.
Right.
We do have wonderful people, especially a lot of the people that are in here tonight. A lot of our followers are the kind of like they're remote, but they will do things like they'll put up flyers even where they
Yeah.
are. Like people who just put in whatever they can do, or even like you said, post it on their Facebook page, like share the story and get it out there, because you never know. I mean, anywhere in the country, who knows? Could be a situation where she's out there somewhere. There could be another state where she is. I don't know. Like, you never really know. And the wider the story goes, the thing that's crazy about cases like Layla's, and it's sad, cases like Layla's that are so local, and often a girl who was into the drug community, it doesn't get that widespread. Like, you got the Summer Wells case, blonde headed little girl, beautiful little girl, innocent, and the world falls in love with her, and it becomes a worldwide phenomenon. That doesn't
Right.
happen in cases like this, because people are like, oh, she was on drugs, and it's almost like people just lower the priority of it in their head, like, well, because she was on drugs, she doesn't matter as a human being as much as a blonde-headed little girl. Is that really true? She was a
I
human
mean,
being. She had a little girl. You
I
know what I
don't see the
mean? Like,
difference, but it's unfortunate. I guess it's like the scrutiny of it, I guess. But yeah, I mean, it's very unfortunate because that's definitely how it is.
yeah,
That's like with homeless people. If they're homeless, oh well, they ain't got family. They don't matter.
yeah,
So half the time they don't even say anything about it, and it's just not right. But like, my thing is too, like, the more people that know, even like around here locally, if they have that mindset, they'll be more in thought when they're walking around or going to parks and
yep,
going to places to be more mindful to look and not just focus at the sidewalk you're walking on and things like that. Like I've noticed my change of thinking since then. You know, I'm always looking everywhere I
Be
go. It
mindful.
doesn't
It's
matter.
so easy to be. It's so easy for people to get self-absorbed in their own lives, their own issues, and it's like,
You just need to be mindful of
yeah,
every
there
moment.
are people missing out there. There are people who have families who miss them and love them, and they're not around, like they're gone. And it's like, keep an eye out.
Yeah.
Think about where they could be, and you could see something. You could see anything. You're walking through the park. If you actually pay attention, you could see something that could actually solve a case. There, man, I gotta tell you, in the Michael Small case, I was riding through the Creeper Trail, and I was thinking to myself, how many people bike and run and don't even look anywhere except the trail? And
Mhm.
there's like deep crevices at the sides, and if someone goes missing down there, I don't think anyone even thinks twice. They're just focused on what they're doing, their own lives, in their own heads.
Yeah, that's what Jen got me one day because we were walking the green belt. We were on live. She was on live. I wasn't. But I was on the search with her, and like the whole time, every bike I was hollering at them, you know, making them go to dead stops, running up to everybody. And Jen's like, Sierra, they're on the walk. I said, yeah, but like
Yeah.
they won't look or pay attention or nothing if they don't know. They've got to know, and you know. And she was like, well, that's true, but. You know, I just hate that you. It's like, well, I don't mind. I'm the type of person. Yeah, I'm gonna go straight up and say it. Please
Yep.
and thank you.
I
Have a good
I
day.
never got that from you. No.
Just a little. Just a little.
I know, Opie, you probably have to work in the morning. You workaholic, you.
Yeah, well, not in the morning, but at night. I'm on night shift now.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, so I get a whole
All right.
extra day and stuff. But I do want
Well,
to add, like we was talking about the reward money. It would be nice to get that up higher. Like I tell people, people's not going to tell on a friend for $7,000. They might
yeah.
tell on something and give more information out for 20, 30, $40,000. That could get them. That's life changing money, and they can
Yeah.
free and
Oh
say, "Hey, there's the information," and catch their little check and be gone. But to be labeled to get that snitch word on you, people's not going to do that for seven, and they might do it for like if they have a chance of getting out of 20 years of prison, you know, and if the cops could find these people and say, "Hey, you're going away for 20 years," then they might do it then. But people ain't going to tell on nobody for $7,000.
Yeah.
25,000, it's a greater possibility. But then people say reward monies don't work. Like in the Sebastian thing, it's up to 400,000, but then it won't because well, I won't get into that. There are people, there's somebody else that knows what happened, and they've kept their mouth shut about that. So I mean,
Yeah.
but
I was about to say that really depends on the case, really, I guess, at
yeah,
that. But like
it does.
regardless, the reward needs to go up. We really like this whole time I know Jen's really, really, really wanted like, you know,
A,
bulletins,
a
you
billboard. We would
know,
Yeah.
love a billboard
or
that had
yeah, billboard.
Holland. I would love a billboard that had Holland and Leyland saying, "Hey, please tell me what you done with. Please tell us what you done with us." You know, and that would look down on these people that's done something to them, and maybe say, "Hey, I know
And
what
see,
happened." You know.
$50,000. Wow.
no, me and Jessica's had a thought. Me and Jessica's talked about it. Jessica can agree. Now, we've thought about trying to find ways to like make shirts for Layla, certain things like that, and start making shirts and then using so much of that money to go towards like, you know, funds for Layla, regardless of what it is at
yeah.
the time, you know, whatever. We've really thought about that, like talking about making shirts, you know, and even like some custom shirts, things like that. Because this one over there's got a heat press, but you know, it's easier said than done.
I'm jealous,
But
Jessica.
Yeah. Oh, she has or she?
She does, yeah.
Oh, maybe you can make one for me.
When you see me like in the winter when I'm wearing sweatshirts, it's usually with designs that I made or my friend make for me. Like I don't go
Oh,
in
wow.
stores anymore.
That is so cool.
Can we commission you?
Absolutely.
That's
She's
an
like,
idea.
yeah. She said, you know how much we've been trying to get jobs lately.
Kidding, yeah. Well, we'll talk about that later.
We'll talk about that offline.
But no, for real, we had thought about like trying to start maybe like I want to work on a design. Me and Jen's talked about it, but we kind of got to get a better picture of what she's got, in her head. But
All right.
I've been trying to find different ways to maybe try to help, especially even like help get people to come out on actual searches when we get some better
Yeah.
pinpoint spots and things like that. It's a lot harder than what people think it is. I mean, it's definitely not easy. None
Yeah.
of it is.
I've noticed people aren't super willing to walk through off trail, through the grass, through the trees. Yeah, like we did.
Especially on their off day. Like all these people, I
Yeah.
get it. They're living life, going struggle. I get all that, So I feel like if there was some kind of incentive there that maybe it would help bring more people out. But
It's true. Yeah. Okay. We have definitely June 27th, 8:30 at Borden Park. Please, everyone, as many people as possible, show up to that. We get most of our viewers after lives. We don't get a whole lot of live views, but we get plenty of viewers after. So if you're watching this after this live goes live, we've got plenty of time for you to make your plans, put it on your calendar. We need a crowd there. We need overwhelming support for Jennifer. She's going through such a hard time right now. Let's please really support her big time as a community this year. Love to see a big crowd there. It would be wonderful. So thank you guys again. I can't even express often enough how much I admire you guys for never giving up. Like, you're amazing.
So glad to meet you all.
Yep.
Same here. We love you guys too.
We love you.
All right, y'all have a good night. Get some good rest, and we'll see you, if not before the vigil, then at the vigil. So
all righty.
Okay.
All right, have a good night, everyone.
Good night. Thank y'all.
Night.
Bye.